What's up? This is Robbie.
This is Freddie.
We're Lewis the Child.
We're not Lewis the Child.
No, we are.
We are Lewis the Child, and we're performing at the X Games this year.
Hey, what up? I'm Kyle Mack. I'm one of the snowboarders in the X Games this year, and I'm not a DJ.
But he is Kyle Mack. Today we're going to talk to each other about our respective careers, some misconceptions, some thoughts, some ideas, and questions. Lots of questions.
Conceptions that are missed. It's a word that's out there. Misconception. So were you born a talented snowboarder, or did it take just a long time practicing?
I mean, I was born a snowboarder, I want to say, because my knees and the way my body shape is kind of works for snowboarding.
You think you were born with a talent for it, or was that something that you just grew into?
Man, I got 50% of my dad's genes, and he was a pretty athletic dude when he was growing up, so I'd say I was born with some pretty good genes and some athletic genes. But yeah, so like, yeah, most sports came pretty naturally to me, and then I guess snowboarding was the one sport that really came naturally to me, and that's the one I picked up. So when you guys perform, a lot of people think you guys just push a play button and perform and pretend to do stuff. So like, what's that actually like? What actually does it take to perform a set?
With any DJ or electronic act, it's like you can do as much as you want or as little as you want. You know, people do think that you're not doing anything up there, but every DJ that I know is actually like mixing from song to song, and I feel like the kind of art of DJing is not that like you're playing every single little piece of the song, but that your ability to mix songs together and to kind of guide, your song selection, your taste is like really what people are going for.
You got to know how to mix in the next one, when to hit play on the next song, you know, when to mix it in, how to mix it in. You have to know exactly, you know, the mechanics of there's a song playing right now, how do I make another one come in and sound good?
So you're definitely doing stuff up there. You're just, you know, you might not be playing a guitar or playing drums, but you are doing something up there.
For us, like, making it in the music industry had a lot to do with posting songs on the internet and trying to get blogs to post them and trying to get a bunch of people to hear our music. What are the incremental steps that you take to make it as a snowboarder?
Competing was a huge one, and then, you know, posting videos on YouTube and kind of, you know, making your kind of statement as who you are as a rider. And, you know, for me, it was all about style growing up, and that was one thing I've always pushed. So growing up, you know, contests and videos were like the two biggest kind of like things to get you on, because for us, contests, you know, were national televised on ABC and stuff. So when I was like 13, I got into the Do Tour, and that was kind of like my stepping stone into like the real performance, like not performance, but like you guys perform, I compete, but like the real competition level of snowboarding at like a high level with, you know, people watching you and, you know, actually like cheering for you and you growing your fan base. And, you know, ever since then, you just work your way to bigger contests like X Games. Like, you know, X Games is one of the biggest high-end contests for us. So if your name gets drawn into X Games and you get an invite, you know you kind of made it as a competitive snowboarder, because like, that's it. Like, that's where every kind of professional snowboarder wants to compete in, and, you know, we're going there.
Yeah. Was it intimidating?
Stoked. That's awesome.
Is it like intimidating the first time that you get like, you know, into one of those big contests, or like when you first went on the Do Tour, like was it scary? Were you up against, you know, some of your idols? Like, what was that all like?
Oh yeah, it was crazy, because it was all the kids I grew up watching on YouTube and making video parts that I was like finally competing against, and I'm like a 13-year-old kid. I'm sitting there just like, I kind of know all you, but like now I have to try to beat you. Yeah. And it's just like, it's funny because like we all compete against each other all the time, but we're all best friends. Like none of us have like an ill will, or like we're always at the bottom cheering when each other lands. And like that's just like the coolest parts. Like, yeah, competing.
I was gonna ask if it's like you feel like it's like worse because it's a competition and not just a performance and showing your skill like to your fans. But no, it sounds like the community's like,
oh yeah,
good.
So winning,
they don't want people.
Top community out there. We're all family, and we all love to, you know, hang out and party and snowboard together. That's what we do. Were you guys born musically talented? Like, was music always something that kind of like when you heard it or you made it, it just always kind of caught for you?
I'd say it's probably pretty similar to the way it was for you. I have a pretty like musical family, and kind of just you know, had a good ear for melody and rhythm, you know, growing up, and just really enjoyed, you know, different really cool sounding rhythms and melodies, like I just said, but really like focused on that and really like dug into what makes a good rhythm and melody, you know. So I think it took a long time, like really working at it and making it like second nature to be creating music like that.
I definitely was born into a pretty musical family, and I don't know if I would say I was like born with musical talent, but I definitely was raised in a household that like was heavily influenced by music, and naturally I was like, I want to do something with music, and I always liked, you know, hearing music and got really into it at a young age. So yeah, we're playing the X Games. We've never been to the X Games. I've only really seen it on TV. What should we expect from the X Games? What's the vibe there?
Aspen is wild. The vibe and the people and everyone that comes to support and hang out is insane. From everyone from the motorsports, the snowboarders and skiers. I mean, X Games is just a huge show from, you know, 9 o'clock in the morning till 9 o'clock at night. Yeah, and they snowboard and I DJ.
No. You don't DJ.
I don't DJ. No, I DJ. You snowboard, right?
I'm Kyle Mack.
And I'm Robbie.
We're Kyle Mack.
And I'm Lewis the Child.
And we're DJ.
All right. I think I have something there.
Yeah, there's something.